Hello everyone, this is Jackie with Rendall's Cleaning with your Rendall's Cleaning audio e-newsletter. This is the week of January 18th, 2016. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I know it's been a couple weeks since we last put out our audio and e-newsletter. I hope you all enjoyed our last e-newsletter that we put out and put it to good use. This is an excellent week this week for the content, and I hope you enjoy it. That being said, let's get started. Why dogs pee on your lunch. Scott, you'll never guess what just happened to me, exclaimed one of my longtime cleaning craftsmen many years ago. We'll call him Joe because that's his name. What happened, Joe? I quizzically asked. The client's dog just peed on my lunch. Joe was not a happy camper that day. Joe wasn't a happy camper on several days when dogs were involved. Joe seemed to be a bad dog attractant. His history of attracting bad dogs over the years while at clients' homes was legendary. His bad dog capers included 2 different instances of dogs eating his lunch, 3 different dogs bit him, several humped his leg, and 1 dog peed on his leg while speaking with a client about dog urine issues in her carpet. I wish I made that all up, but I didn't. Dogs like Joe, they just showed their affection towards him differently than any other human I know. We don't always know why dogs and cats do what they do, but we can make some educated guesses. I don't know, but it's worth a try. Perhaps our educated guesses will help us help our dogs and cats. The eliminator. Every animal has to pee to eliminate liquid waste, we all know that. And naturally, we all know that letting the pet out to do its business often is crucial. But this time of year when it's cold and snowy outside, many of our furry friends don't like to go outside either. Can't blame them. I just locked up the chickens a few minutes ago and it was 7 degrees above zero with strong winds. Come on, spring! I once knew a dog owner who had to carry his dog outside to do its business. It wasn't an old or sick dog either, just a smart one. One time he thought his kids took the dog outside to use the bathroom as he heard the door open and close twice. The next morning, he walked onto several squishy yellow spots on his carpet. The kids were visiting from college and thought the dog would go out by itself when they opened the door. It didn't, so the kids naturally thought the dog didn't have to go when he just stared at them with the door wide open. They tried twice, just to make sure, thus the 2 door openings, closings, the dad heard. Alright, so my point here is if you want your pet to go to the bathroom outside, either you have to adapt or make your pet adapt. All of our dogs love the snow and cold, so it was no big deal. But I know lots of people with pets that just don't like to go out when it's cold. We call them Florida pets. The marker. If you've ever had a male dog, cat, weasel, teenager, or whatever you know, they like to mark their territory. Male animals, especially cats, are notorious for marking up the wall several feet high, marking curtains, pillows, bags, shoes, and everything else valuable to you. The last cat we owned was a young male that followed me home from work one day. After some consultation with my dear wife, I agreed to call her Queen forever if the cat messed up our house. I let the cat inside to play with him, feed him, and figure out what to do next. He was great. We fed him, played with him, and even named him Caesar. Later that day, we decided to keep him. Well, there's a reason I still call my wife Queen to this day 2 decades later. That night old Caesar promptly marked everything, including our mortgage documents that we were in the process of signing. That was fun to explain to the mortgage officer. We kept Caesar, but he lost his manhood a short time later and stopped marking up the place. Whenever we do a PUP, pet urine plan inspection, one of the first things we ask is if the male pet is fixed or if it hadn't been fixed when they acquired the pet. If the pet wasn't fixed, our next step is to fire up the black light and look everywhere because they will literally mark wherever they can access. Male cats especially have an amazing ability to spray all over the place. We found cat urine 6 feet up the curtains before, even though the urine wasn't visible to the human eye. We found cat urine on the ceiling once. At first, we were perplexed that a cat could pee 8 feet straight up and hit the ceiling. What really happened is when we went upstairs, the cat had used a 6-foot section of carpet as a litter box for a year. And the urine was actually dripping down from the ceiling, not sprayed up. Ew. The doper. Another reason pets urinate on your stuff is because they are on medications that make them drowsy or lose control of some of their bodily functions. I don't know why, but whenever I've been on medication, I get up and use the bathroom when I need to go. Seems pets take being on meds to mean, hey, I can pee all over the place and you're just gonna have to deal with it. We get lots of calls when pets are on meds because they can't hold it back, so it's perfectly normal. Don't be embarrassed, it's what they do. The exciter. We once had a dog, Max, who was so good with strangers. Max was so friendly he'd let you know by tinkling when you petted him. Max was a rescue, and we surmised that he wasn't used to being petted and loved, so he didn't learn to hold his excitement in when he was petted. The vengeful one. Hey, we all love pets equally, but let's be honest here. Some pets are vengeful. You let them out before you go to work, and they take a nice long leak in the grass. Then you go to work for the day, but you decide to stop home for lunch early. You walk in, and the pet has piddled all over the place. It was out of spite for you having the gall to bring home the bacon, or separation anxiety disorder, or something. I've personally never had a pet who owned me with this kind of disorder before, but I understand that crate training can fix that. At least that's what my pet psychologist friend told me. Other reasons. You know, sometimes we just don't know why dogs and cats, and weasels and teenagers, do what they do. So we chalk it up in the I'll keep an eye on it category. Sometimes that's all we can do. Other times we look at our keep an eye on it board and there's a constant steady rise in urine incidents. In the case it might be medical related and you should check with a vet ASAP. As for our cleaning craftsman Joe, well, we just tried to schedule him on jobs where there weren't any dogs that could bite him, pee on him, or his lunch, or hump his leg. Then Joe was happy. Scott Rendall, president and wearer of many hats. And in this week's news of the Rendall's team, we're going to Vegas, baby. Team Rendall's Cleaning is heading out to Las Vegas this week to attend the ICE International Cleaning Expo, where we'll meet about 2,000 fellow pros, see and probably buy all of the new cleaning tools and products, and we might even have to hit the casinos. Stay tuned to our YouTube and Facebook pages for videos and updates from the show. And that's it for this edition of the Rendall's Cleaning World Class e-newsletter. Thank you so much for subscribing. We'll see you next week.